Thank you, everybody. I will start with asking a question. How many of you know how much 1 liter of petrol emits CO2? Any hands? Well, see, this is something that struck me, and that's why I started My Forest Armenia. 1 liter of petrol, everybody's talking about these CO2 emissions, but nobody knows how much 1 liter of petrol, when it is burned in your car, when you're flying, how much it emits of CO2. Well, the answer is 1 liter of petrol, which is only 750 grams, will emit 2,300 grams. 1 liter. And when you think about it later on, you'll realize how huge that number is. And of course, I, maybe like some of you, thought we have to do something about it. This is a huge number, and when you start thinking about flying, and which you should figure it's about 200 kilogram of CO2 that you emit while flying 1 hour for one person in a plane. So 10-hour round trip flight is about 2 tons of CO2. And this is why we are here today with the CO2 level in the atmosphere. Here you see the last 2,000 years of evolution of the CO2, and you see for about 1,850 years it was pretty stable at around 270 parts per million, and in the last 150 years it has risen to today at 427 parts per million in 2020, and rising about 10 parts per million every year. So, and this is causing the destruction that we're facing. Now, and I recommend you to look at the Keeling curve. It's founded by Richard Keeling in 1958, a very good year, which happened to be the year of my birth. As much as I didn't know anything about CO2, I knew even less about forests, because I started to plant trees, and I very quickly found out that forests are even more important for human life on Earth. As a matter of fact, there is no life possible on Earth without forests. And this is something I want you to start to understand and live with that fact that we are totally dependent. We, all of us here, we're totally dependent on nature. You damage nature, you're damaging yourself. There's a new field that is starting a couple of years ago. It's called ecosystem services of forests, and where scientists are kind of, and economists are kind of determining what are all the values, what are all the services that forests are bringing. Well, some of us, we know this lowering of CO2, but there's so much more. It lowers temperature, it increases humidity, it provides food, it provides medicine. Most important is that, did you know that 75% of our drinking water comes from forests? This is in the world, and it's also true in Armenia. It maybe not be so true in Belgium because we have so much rain, but in the rest of the world, the 75% figure is very important. So you want water for the people living later in life? Well, you need forests. And one thing that need to be said about reforesting. So our organization has, as the young gentleman has presented in the beginning, we've planted more than 2.3 million trees in the last 4 years, and we're hoping to continue. Actually, we're hoping also that some of you will pick up the mantle and will start also a reforestation organization, and we're ready to help. If you want to start, or you want to start in that field, we're ready to help to provide seedlings and whatever. But reforestation is not about the environment. Reforestation is about people. It has a big social impact. First of all, because it helps people with a job, and usually the people who are planting forests are in very remote area where there are no jobs at all, particularly here in Armenia. So it gives work to people. But creating forests, more than that, creating forests is about improving the quality of life. You are improving the quality of life when you have nice, lush forests around you. Because what is the alternative is deserts, and deserts is not conducive to life. A few words about our organization. This is our main nursery, not far from here. This is in Gugar, just before Vanadzor. As a matter of fact, if there are any volunteers who want to come, you're welcome to come and help. There's a few pictures of, we have actually 2 nurseries, 2 greenhouses, and just to show you a little bit the scale of work when you see the shovels and the boxes where all the containers goes with the plants that grow in the greenhouses. They grow in small containers. Now, the title actually of this conference was the challenges of large-scale reforestation. What are they? What are the challenges that we are facing? Well, first of all, unfortunately, but actually obviously, it's us humans. We are the biggest, let's say, threat or the biggest impediment to increasing large-scale forests. First of all, we need to understand why we need forests. And the problem is we live in cities. We live in this beautiful building of the United World College. And we think, why? I live in Yerevan, or I live in New York and Paris. Why do I need a forest? Well, that's exactly the point. You need a forest because where does your water come from? Water in your tap. Where is it coming from? So it comes from forest. The food that you eat, where does it come from? The food is grown in fields. A lot of it is also picked up in the forest, but it's grown in fields. And the fields can grow the food because it has a regulated atmosphere. It has a regulated climate. If you disrupt the climate, you will not have food. So it's about understanding that forest is important. The second thing, humans have failings and have limitations. One thing we don't understand is the notion of time. We are focused on looking at an ontogenetic scale. It's a very fancy word. It means actually that we look at things in a lifetime of something. Here, humans, because we are humans, we view everything in the span of a lifetime, which is a human lifetime, which is 100 years. Whereas we should look at the phylogenetic scale. A phylogenetic scale is you look at the whole evolution. When you think about it, Jesus Christ was born and died about 2020 years ago. That's mere minutes in the story of the planet. Forest exists since 370 million years. What is even a million year? We don't understand. We humans, we cannot understand what is a million year. Except that forests have been around for 370 million years, and unfortunately, we've been destroying forests, when you think about it, since the invention of agriculture. So about 12,000 years ago, we've been cutting down forests to create room, to make room for agriculture, for cities, and for roads. It's all fine, but where are we now? Have we gone too far? Well, we don't know. So we will see that in the near future, and hopefully it will not be that bad. So we need to reforest, and this is a crucial fact. First of all, we cannot afford to lose any single hectare of forest anymore, and we need to start reforestation. Of course, there are other difficulties which are linked to mostly it's administrative and land issues, because obviously there's conflicting uses of forest. People want to have a land for grazing cows, or for cities, or for recreation, but we need a certain amount of forest, and this is for our survival. Having said that, I think I've finished my talk, so I hope that you found this interesting. Just remember that we are all part of one nature. We are just one species among millions of species, and we need this balance to live all together in harmony on this planet, and forest is one essential part. Thank you very much.